Bird Person is back. Tammy is back. And the clone of Beth is still a clone? Hey everyone, my name is Johan, and this is Save the Popcorn. So, the fourth season of Rick and Morty just got over a couple of days ago, depending on when I upload this. But I watched all the 10 episodes of this fourth season as and when they came out. So, that's like the first 5 episodes came out last year around November, I believe. And then the last 5 episodes came out over the course of the past 5 weeks. And what a great season! What a great show! I remember watching the first 3 seasons of this show binge mode. I watched all of them at once at the end of 2017 when the third season got over, and I loved it. I then waited for many years for the fourth season to come out. I was really excited when they renewed it for 70 more episodes. I thought that was a good thing that they did. One thing that I noticed about this show while watching it as and when it came out is that this season was very gradual. I think they did a really smart thing in the sixth episode. I think it was called Never Ricking Morty, where, you know, the episode where they were all in the train and they were going in through these weird dimensions. And then Rick has this dialogue where he says that now we can do whatever we want because we've messed up or we've effed up timelines so badly. I think that's a nod to what's really happening because in the real world, because a lot of fans of Rick and Morty are very cringe. Like, the fan base of Rick and Morty is very polarized. On one hand, you have people, hopefully like myself, who are like, okay, the show is good, but it's not, it's a good comedy show. It's very well written. It's very smartly done. The creators, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon, they know what they're doing. But on the other hand, we have this demographic that is like, this show is very smart. There are subtle nods to everything that's happening in our society. And I was like, okay, that's not the case. It's not that smart. You don't need to make weird kind of TikToks about it, because the TikToks about Rick and Morty have been so cringe. This was booming back in 2018 or early 2019. I don't know if it's still happening. I think TikTok trends have gone somewhere else. But that fan base of Rick and Morty, I think, has been dispelled to a certain extent, because the way they've done this season of their show is they've done a lot of standalone episodes. Like, a lot of episodes are just bottle episodes. They have no inclination towards a bigger storyline. So there are only a couple of episodes in these 10 episodes of the season where they sprinkle in some kind of progression to the storyline, like the storyline of Rick losing control over his family, or Jerry gaining more confidence, or one of the main characters in the season was Beth. Like, she was given a lot of screen time. At the end of the third season, we had this whole debate over whether she was actually a clone or not. And then they progressed it really well, especially at the end of the season finale of season 4. And it makes you wonder. I think there's going to be a lot of tonal shift in terms of the show. I think what would be good for this show is if they make it more of a Simpson-esque type of show. Simpsons has been going on for like, what, 32 seasons? I don't even know. And the reason why it's so successful is because they're all mostly standalone episodes. I haven't watched much of The Simpsons to know whether or not there is a progression of a storyline, but to my knowledge, I don't think there is. Most of it seems to be just standalone episodes, one after the other. And I think that would be good for a show like Rick and Morty, because they do have 60 or so episodes left in their contract, as of what I know. I haven't kept much attention to it since the fourth season started. I don't know what changes have been made, if they have been made at all. And so I just feel like there is a better chance for the show having a better future if they continue with this gradual progression of a storyline, standalone episode after standalone episode, followed by a couple of sprinkles on the overall progression. Because Morty has taken a slightly lesser role in this season. This season was a lot about Rick and a lot about Beth and their relationship. We got to see a lot more screen time for Summer, which is great because I love Summer as a character. She's hilarious. We got to see a lot of different sides of her. She's more savage in this season, especially towards her father, which I thought was hilarious to see. This season was very interesting to me because this was the first season of the show that I watched as and when it was happening. As I mentioned, the previous 3 seasons I watched while binging them. And it's just like, I get to see a lot more of the show now that I watched it as and when it was happening on a week by week basis. I think that we as a society have been binge watching so much content that we've had high expectations for everything that we've seen. And when you put too much high expectations on something that is written so well, it tends to leave a bad taste in your mouth when it doesn't reach your expectation. We've seen this happen with Sherlock. Their season 4 was, or at least the last part of their season 4, didn't live up to the standards. And I think that's unfair to the creators because those standards were created by us. We kept asking for something even more convoluted each episode after episode. And I think Rick and Morty, which is an already convoluted show to begin with, I think that they needed this season to sort of take a break. A lot of people say that this season didn't have much gravitas as the previous seasons, and I think it's fine. I mean, this is an adult comedy cartoon show, and I think you don't need to read too much into the storylines. You don't need to read too much into the dialogues. Just watch it for fun. And I think watching this show as a week by week basis has been a lot of fun for me. It still retains a lot of rewatchability. I would still love to binge watch the show all over again. But for the previous 3 seasons, I would watch like a shuffled experience. I would watch one episode of here, one episode of that. But this season, I would watch it start to finish, and that's because I watched it initially as and when it was going on. So I'm not a critic of binging things. I mean, I binge a lot of shows, but I just feel like sometimes when you binge a lot of seasons of one show all together, and then the new season comes on a week by week basis, you have such a pent up expectation of what you want the show to be. It's never going to satisfy your expectation, and that's when you think that the show is bad, but it's just the same as it was before. It's just that your viewing style of the show has changed. So I think that this is a good place for Rick and Morty to continue on. I'm really excited to see what they have coming up for the new seasons. I'm really excited to see when they will actually make those new seasons. God knows when. They spent so much long on this season. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm fine with it because the writing is good, the cast is great, the creators have a good relationship. Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, they seem to be good friends, and I don't mind waiting for more seasons of this show. And I'm going to leave it at that for this video. If you like this type of content and you want to see more, make sure to check out the previous videos on this channel and also subscribe to be notified when I upload more episodes. If you want to listen to full episodes of the Save the Popcorn podcast, make sure to go to the description where you will find links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and whichever audio platform that you choose that you want to listen to. Until then, take care and always remember that butter popcorn is better than caramel.